Welcome, Steph Crypto here with another video. Today we're just gonna zoom in, zoom out. We're gonna look at the longer time frame. I'll be using for this one the Bitcoin USD chart. We started on the weekly time frame, and you can see this is starting and back in 2021 up until today. I've drawn some simple lines on here. Support line. There has been resistance in 2021. Tried to break out in October 21, tried to break out again in November, failed. Here it struggled along this line for quite a while. Started on March the 4th in 2024, and it took until November 2024 before we actually broke out of this trend line, which is now become support since 2024. We are now retesting that exact line. If we lose it, the next line that you see is the max pain line would be 49k something. Here it says now 48 something, but in my opinion, we'll just stay just above that line. So we're zooming out, longer time frame. What do we see? We had the bear flag starting in October last year. And we started here, around the 6th of October, 7th of October. We started to create this bear flag. Bear flag is not good news for the price, as it always breaks down to the low. Fortunately, what are we forming right now? It is another bear flag. So, in the next few weeks, we can, maybe even days, we don't know the time frame, it will break down again. Now, I like, if we see this happen, I'm going to just compare and see the drop was approximately 25 to 26% after this bear flag breakout. So I'm expecting the same. Let's see from where we are now, 25%. Look, 25, 26%. That would just take us around that 50k mark, 49, 550k mark. So we can expect there, something like this is what I'm expecting. And we go for a little retest, little stumble in the middle, but we will go and visit this line. That's the path I'm expecting Bitcoin to take on the longer time frame. There is always the volatility, always the local noise. That's why we then zoom into the daily chart. And on the daily chart, you can see confirmation, bear flag, breakout to the low, bear flag is building. It could easily break out to the low very soon. But we see that the support that's been running since 2021 is still holding for now. So this will be a key level to watch. If you see it break to the low, retest. The retest is very important. Retest. And the retest fails, and there's an extra red candle, that's where you, of course, start to short the market. As long as I don't see that, I'm not shorting, doing the big short just yet. My big short, that would be taking it from, around 60k to 50k. That's the short I'm looking forward on this time frame. But then if you, of course, zoom in more, and we go now to the 15-minute chart. Unfortunately, TradingView does this because I'm using this indicator. On the shorter time frame chart, you see there's a lot of ups and downs happening that you don't see happening on the weekly or the daily time frame, because the candle there is 1 week or 1 day. Here we get a new fresh candle starting every 15 minutes. So you can actually zoom into the volatility and see the trend. And as you can see here, as we were on the daily and the weekly, we were touching the blue line, support line. And here you see we still have a little buffer before we actually touch. And that's why you zoom in, zoom out. Because you would say, okay, I'm seeing that support holding on the weekly and the daily. I'm going to open along. But here you can see that there's still about a $600-700 gap before we test it. And we could easily go below that and then go for this liquidity pocket. These yellow zones is liquidity pockets. Uh, but I think we're going to go down first, test that line, grab that liquidity that's left here since a few days or a few weeks. And then we might see a little push to the up. But for that, I would love to go back to the daily chart and just show on the daily chart that it's not that clear. That pocket that we find here just above the blue line, it's not that clear if you zoom out to the daily chart. But that pocket stays very unclear. And if we were not forming a bear flag, I would say this would be my next target. This zone of liquidity here, because that's where the money is. But because of the bear flag, I like to wait for confirmation. Or I want to see the support here hold and take us up first before we do the move down, because you can see on the daily, these are only small pockets of liquidity. That's leftovers, I call that. So it's going to be a 50-50 call for now. So that's why we zoom in, zoom out. Because on the weekly and daily, it looks very bad. But if you then go to the 15-minute, you see there are swings, ups and downs that you just can't see on this weekly or daily chart. And that's how I build up my longer time frame strategy. If you want to see more videos like this, give us a like and leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.